Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. I am reliably informed it is 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. on the West Coast, 5 a.m. on the East Coast. In East Africa, it is 2 p.m. In Sydney, Australia, it is 9 p.m. So we've got a whole range of people from all over the world. Thank you for making the sacrifice to join at whatever hour that you have joined us. It's really great to have you here. It's great to have you back. It's a new year. Welcome to 2022. Very interesting things usually happen in the first and the last quarter of every year. And I'll tell you why. The first quarter is because everybody's planning. There's lots of excitement and energy going into making something of the year. And in the last quarter, everyone's trying to finish up stuff. And, you know, all the things that we sort of dropped along or trailed along throughout the year seems to have picked up. And so we're looking forward to some really great, exciting updates of stuff that you, our community, have been working on over the last 2-3 months, and also an overview of the whole year. In the chat, not in the chat, in the participants list, I see 27 names. Many of you familiar. Great to see you all. Thank you for joining us again. Some new folks or some folks I have not personally met. Thank you again for joining us. If this is your first time, you're very welcome. You're about to have a very exciting week. I guarantee you that. For those that do not know me, my name is Simeon Oriko. I am the Director of Community at the Mojaloop Foundation. And I will be your host for the rest of this week. Really excited. Right, there are a couple of interesting things that are happening this convening that we've changed from last convening. We want you to participate a little more and just have you engage and be active participants and not just be consumers, but be active participants in our convening. And so we've added some nice little features, especially during the breaks. One of them is we'll be playing trivia games during all the breaks. So please do remember to stay during the breaks. Don't worry, we'll give you some time to grab a coffee or get a bathroom break. But please, during the breaks, please do remember to stay. We've got trivia and the trivia is cumulative. So at the end of the week, we'll be announcing the cumulative winner for each trivia session that we host during the breaks. That will be very exciting. Many people like myself tend to think of themselves as trivia experts until you actually get the trivia question. And then you realize, nope, you probably don't know as much as you think you do. But very looking forward to crowning our community trivia winner at the end of this week. So some very exciting surprises there. At the end of this week, we also have, for the first time, we are recognizing those members of our community who've made meaningful contributions. So a little more on that a little later. For now, I will pass it over to Paula Hunter, the Executive Director for the Mojaloop Foundation, to kick us off. Paula.
Great. Thank you, Simeon, and hopefully folks are seeing my slides. Yes?
Yes, we can.
All right, excellent. Yes, so with regard to the trivia, I just want to remind staff who wrote the questions that you cannot participate in the event. It would be insider trading, so to speak. So welcome, everyone. As Simeon pointed out, this is the beginning of a new year. So what I wanted to do is just share some thoughts with you all about our focus for this year. The staff and our board of directors and the technical governing board have had discussions about our priorities in 2022, and at just a very high level, I want you folks to be aware of our focus for this year. So our top priorities, I'll go through 3 slides that really encapsulate the overarching themes for the year. First and foremost is to increase adoption of Mojaloop technology. Some of you may note this was our priority last year as well, but it continues to be an important area of focus for us. It's the way that we're able to achieve our mission of addressing financial inclusion. It's also the rationale for further investment in the Mojaloop Foundation. So by showing the marketplace, and that's a very broad and diverse ecosystem, that Mojaloop is being deployed in live instances, that helps reaffirm that we're heading in the right direction. The way in which we're going to do that is by finding additional partners to support deployments. There's plenty of room for new partners to become skilled in delivering Mojaloop-based solutions. We also need to have a clear path for funding new deployments. We have a number of partners that we're engaging with that can help those governments that may not have the funds to get started on a proof of concept or in a more complex deployment. And we also need to continue to engage strategic partners that can help us advance our work. A second area for our focus is to identify grants and additional funding for deployments and projects. These funds can help reduce barriers for central banks that do not currently have the funds for these deployments. It also signals to the market that there is business opportunity with Mojaloop. No one's asking for folks to deliver services for free. So what there needs to be is available funds in the marketplace to compensate those companies that are selling services and solutions into the marketplace. And there's also going to be special projects that we want to fund. Last year, we decided to fund additional efforts around ISO 20022. We funded more work on documentation, and I anticipate that there'll be other new projects that come our way this year. So we need to continue to have an active fundraising program. This program will prioritize targets, engage, secure, and administer the grants. And that is a staff function, but of course, we look for your support, your advice, and your introductions in helping us secure those funds. The third area that we want to focus on this year is expanding our membership and community engagement. By expanding our membership, it increases contributions to the development efforts. So as a company decides to join the Mojaloop Foundation, they will also allocate resources to contribute to the ongoing development and other projects within the foundation. It also reduces our dependency on funded development. The funds associated with funded development are not unlimited. And in fact, in some respects, we're seeing those ratchet down a little bit. So what we need to do is find more companies that want to contribute to the Mojaloop work because it's strategically important to them, their mission, and their goals with regard to financial inclusion and payments infrastructure. It also, by adding more new members, it increases our credibility and also helps underwrite operational expenses. Simeon doesn't work for free, nor do myself. But also there's AWS hosting fees, there's administrative costs, we pay for accountants and lawyers and back office operations. So having members involved with the operations and paying dues helps underwrite those operational expenses. And we'll continue to prioritize the targets based on technology fit, market and geographic match, and mission alignment. So for a company to rationalize making investment in the Mojaloop Foundation, it needs to strategically align with those targets that they have. So that will be our lens by which we recruit new members. And we're gaining momentum. So coming into the new year, we have deployments in progress. They're at various stages. Some of these you'll hear about this week. We have deployments with Mawali, who's gone live in a number of corridors. We've got the Bank of Tanzania and TIPS initiative that has recently gone live. We have a proof of concept with Rwanda, and we have active engagement in Myanmar. There's also several other projects in the works, but these four, hopefully you'll be hearing more about this week and show momentum as we progress into 2022. We also have a new funding of a project for a central bank digital currency project. I'll be talking about that more tomorrow, but we're looking like we're in pretty good shape for that funding project as well. And we have some new projects and members. Notably, Microsoft is working on one-click cloud deployments. You'll hear from Microsoft later this week. We also welcome Red Compass Labs, which recently joined as a promoter member. They are very anxious to become involved in our CBDC project. They also are very skilled in ISO implementations. So we welcome their expertise and their support of the foundation. We've also been very busy on new tools and content. I encourage you to take a look at our public website where you'll find the Foundation Toolkit. There's a whole bunch of new content. We've got new white papers, we've got 2-page info sheets, whole slew of new videos that have been produced. So while many of you are technologists and more focused on the code base, for those of you that are talking to customers, that are talking to partners in the ecosystem, we're continuing to enhance those tools in the toolkit area of our site. We also revamped all of our documentation. And so you'll notice that we've restructured the content there, added new content, and if you have input or feedback and want to participate in that evolution, I'm sure Simeon would love to hear from you. But at the end of the day, and I know I've probably said this at every convening, it takes a village, and we greatly appreciate your contribution to our work, whether it be coding, helping us on content, being an ambassador and advocate for Mojaloop. We need you all in the mix. Our last October meeting, which was held virtually, we had 139 registrants from 35 countries. I'm pleased to let you know we have 169 folks that registered for this meeting today. So we hope to see continued growth in the community across the spectrum of projects and activities that we conduct. So thank you, everyone, for your contribution and interest. And then finally, I just wanted to make a quick announcement. We are hiring. We have 2 positions open right now. I'm looking for a director of market development and partnerships. That person will assist in go-to-market activities. While the Mojaloop Foundation doesn't sell directly to customer, we often partner with our member companies and other partners to advance deployment opportunities. So that individual will take the lead in that work. I'm also looking for a part-time assistant, about 15 to 20 hours a week, to coordinate engagement with grant-making entities, maintain our database of go-to-market activities, and monitor and assist me in reporting progress towards organizational goals. So if you're interested in either of these positions, the slides will be posted, but by all means reach out to me if you have questions. We do have a formal application process for the director position that's on the link that you see here on this slide. And the part-time position has been broadcast on LinkedIn, and if you have inquiries, you can send them to that email address. But again, most of you know me, and do feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions, or if you want to recommend any individuals to be considered for the role. So with that, again, I want to thank you for joining us here today. I know it's crazy time zones for some of you all, so appreciate you getting up early or staying up late, and hopefully we'll have a little fun in between. And I look forward to having a very productive weekend. Thank you, and over to you, Simeon.
Thank you so much, Paula. Those are excellent updates, a lot of which we've gone over in a very broad, we've glanced over, but there's some really great details in some of those announcements and some of those highlights that Paula just mentioned. Many of you are leading those efforts, and we really looking forward to your input, to seeing the updates and the work that has gone in over the last couple of weeks. So I want to focus more on the community aspect, and I'll share my screen here real quick. And just give me a heads up if you can see the screen.
Looks good. Yes, you can see it.
Awesome. So one of the things that Megan and I have been working on quite a bit throughout the last year is we've been worried about metrics and statistics. what statistics make sense, what gives us a pulse of how our community is working. What can we share that is meaningful? It's important to note that there is no one answer or one statistic that I can share with all of you that would make sense, or that would give you a full understanding of the breadth and the depth of the Mojaloop community meeting. But that doesn't stop us from trying. So today I have chosen to share one statistic that I think reflects on what you, our community members, have done and achieved over the last 1 year. But I will go and share some more in-depth stats in our awards session. So please make sure to join us back on Thursday at 2:10 p.m. UTC. It will be great to have you there, and we can reveal a few more details that show you the breadth and the depth of our community. The two statistics, that I think makes sense is that last year, you all put in a total of 1,012,740 lines of code. These are new lines of code added to the code base. The cumulative lines of code in the code base that were listed in 2021. And this came from 57 people who signed our CLA on GitHub. Most of you by now are aware that for you to make a contribution to Mojaloop GitHub, you need to have signed the CLA. And from as far as we can track, we have added 662 new contacts. These are people who have joined in our community and participated either by contributing code or by attending events or by participating in things like the marketing steering group or the product council, and all these different forms. And so we're essentially seeing an increased growth in engagement across pretty much all the spheres of our community. And that's a testament to your commitment, which we applaud and we celebrate. Right now in name, on Thursday, it will be a much more fun session. So please keep this in mind, and we'll go and dig into some of the details of this on Thursday. Please keep that in mind. Today, I want to highlight three things. A quick update on our community objectives for this year, a business directory update, and an update from the Mojaloop training program. These are all things that we began working on and some concluded working on last year, and especially in the closing months and weeks of 2021, that I think deserve some update. The 2022 objectives are summarized quite simply in these 3 bullet points. We are having conversations amongst individuals within the staff with community members of figuring out how we transition from funded development to open source. And I'm happy to report that we have a number of ideas that came from all of you, and I've spent some time listing them down all together. And these ideas of how we achieve this, how we make this transition, will be discussed with the Community Council and their approval. And again, together with the Community Council, will lead the charge to make sure that we're able to create a more robust and a more sustainable way of developing the Mojaloop open source code base. So that's up to there. 2, for some time now, we've had various discussions around Mojaloop version 1 and Mojaloop version 2, and what's the plan there? And there are very many interesting ideas. Many of you have this topic at heart, and we want to call it out in a more formal way this year and have a very structured conversation and develop a plan for 1, what happens with Mojaloop version 1, and 2, what happens with Mojaloop version 2? When do we transition between the 2 of them? Who's responsible for maintaining version 1? And all these different ideas. Again, we've spent some time listening to the community, and we've got a couple of key points. And these are conversations we'll have within various governing boards, as well as with the wider community, just to make sure that we have an actionable plan that we can work on and participate on this year. So if you have any thoughts on any of the first 2 points, do please reach out to me, and I'll be happy to note those thoughts down and make sure that they're shared with the relevant decision-making authorities. Thirdly, one of the things that came up last year was a request to incentivize and recognize the contributions of our members, because many of you are doing an excellent job. And so Megan and I went on a little treasure hunt to try and find various tools that would be able to help us quantify and see in a better visual way your contributions. And so we were successful in finding in that little mission, and we even went a step further to identify a list of people who we shall be recognizing and awarding this Thursday at the community award session. This is in recognition of Mojaloop community members, that's all of you, all 49 of you right now on this call, for their outstanding contribution to the Mojaloop open source project. There are many ways that people have contributed, either in active discussions to try and make and participating in decision making, active discussions on Slack and Discourse and other places, through pull requests and code commits on GitHub, through participating in developing new courses for the Mojaloop training program, through advocacy, going out there and speaking about Mojaloop in various spheres in a bid to try and get more people in, or in a bid to get the Mojaloop foot through the door. And these are all things that deserve recognition. So this is something we're really, really, really excited about. So if you miss all of the sessions, this is the one you do not want to miss. You may think that you're not among the top contributors, but the names listed there will surprise you. So don't count yourself out, at least not before the community award session. Let's talk about the Mojaloop Business Directory update. Most of you are aware, in September of last year, we had a Mojaloop business meeting in which we launched the Mojaloop Business Directory. And this was a way to give organizations in our community, give them a bit more visibility, and have a way for them to share their expertise with the entire Mojaloop ecosystem and the world, in a bit also to just try and attract some work and things like that for these organizations. As of Q4 2021, we have 8 organizations signed up. That is what you see on your screen. That's Coil, Modusbox, and Cyberwind, who are the 3 are members of the Mojaloop Foundation. We have GH Security Consulting, Glenbrook Partners, Basis Labs, Technogs, and KitsaWorks. We do encourage those of you who have organizations and whose organizations are actively working on either building, contributing to Mojaloop, or building for Mojaloop. Please do consider joining the Mojaloop Business Directory. The link is right there. It's a very quick and easy fix. Once you fill out a little form, ping me on Slack or send me a quick email. We'll get it, if it meets the criteria, we'll get it approved and we'll have it up. Just that way we can get some more visibility for the work that you do. Let's talk about the Mojaloop training program update. And at this point, I will pass it to Jane. Jane, you ready?
I am. Thank you very much, Simeon, and all the best for the new year to everybody on the call. This is our first chance to greet everyone in this new year, and let's hope it's a really successful and happy new year for everyone. The update around the training program, I wanted to just bring in a comment that Paula made around expanding the community. And part of the goal around the training program is to not only have a large community, but to have a well-informed large community, a community that is steeped in Mojaloop, its whys and wherefores and the hows of doing things in Mojaloop. And that is the value that we see the training program bringing for the community at large. And we hope that it achieves that. What we have, next slide, please, Simeon. What we've done in the last quarter is, with a lot of help from many community members who hopefully we have remembered all of them and recognized them all on the course. We've launched 3 new programs which went live yesterday, I think. they are, as you see on the screen, DFSP 209, Hub 209, and the TTK 101. And the value of these 3 programs is that they're starting to close up all of the work around the other programs and bring them together so that we're starting to see a full picture of what Mojaloop offers and how one can go about utilizing it to its best ability. Next slide. Please, Simeon. Thank you. So the DFSP technical operations, as you can see, the slide tells you who it is aimed at, and it really is aimed at DFSPs themselves and those interested from a business engagement perspective in drawing DFSPs into a scheme and understanding what it's going to require of them so that they can facilitate that process. What it offers is an insight into the importance of technical operations for a DFSP, how to create successful processes, support processes, how to make sure that the technical operations of the DFSP supports the business requirements that DFSP has set out. It deals with Mojaloop itself and some of the tools that enable efficiency and automation, and organizing. Eventually we get to a point of how to organize your tech ops staff. What kind of a structure do you need if you're a small DFSP or if you're a larger DFSP? It's a very insightful course. And next one, please. So the Hub 209 takes this similar content, but spins the view to look at it from the hub operator perspective. And as we know, the role of the hub operator is really critical in a successful implementation of a Mojaloop scheme. So we're looking at those entities that are wishing to become hub operators, or schemes that are looking to appoint hub operators and need to understand what those people need to know about the impact of being a hub operator and what it's going to require of that organization. Similar thing, it's around how to operate a hub, what are the management processes that need to be put in place for disputes and incidents and problems and releases and all of those day-to-day functions from a hub perspective where you own and manage the actual Mojaloop instance itself. And then obviously a lot around what kind of tooling is required for a hub operator to monitor successfully and keep track of the health and well-being of the hub. Next one, please. And lastly, the TTK toolkit. This is really a different kind of a course, and we're hoping we're going to start seeing more of these come out. So this is an add-on. This is a tool that has been developed that enables people using Mojaloop to automate testing, enables them to use the toolkit for various other pieces that are required to make life, if you're onboarding or if you're participating as deploying code, that you've got a toolkit that enables the developers and the operators to easily and smoothly make sure that what's happening is right. So this course takes you through the purpose of the toolkit, how to install it, how to set it up, where to find it, because it's an open source tool, what are the basic features, what are the capabilities and functions, and takes you through some of the basic and more advanced use cases that it can be used for. So those are the 3 new courses. They're live now. I would really like to encourage you all to get onto the Mojaloop training program and go through them and complete them and give us some feedback in your how you think we can improve them, and sign up. And I'd really like to just reiterate again and thank all of those. They know who they are, the people who participated in the development of those courses. It was great having community participation as widely as we did have. And thank you very much and enjoy the courses. Simeon, over to you.
Thank you so much, Jane. The Mojaloop training program is one of my favorite time to spend when I'm working. I spend just planning, working with the team and community members, all of whom we will be rewarding and recognizing when we get to the end of this week. So it would be good to hang around and see who these folks are and just give them some credit. The names are also listed in the course in the course pages as well. So please do spend some time and check that. I want to give you some sense of how well the Mojaloop training program is doing and why I get really excited and I'm happy to spend some time on this in my work week. What you're looking at on your screen is the user data for the Mojaloop training program. We've compared the statistics we collected at mid-year 2021 and at year-end 2021. And what we can see here is the total users grew by 20% in a span of 6 months. From 561 in mid-year 2021 to 674 year-end of last year. We have noticed a number of organizations and their staff participating in the training program, taking the actual courses. In the mid of the year, it was 252 organizations represented, and at the end of the year, it was 322, a growth of 28% half year. These people come from 70 countries. When we saw the stats, they literally blow our minds because 70 countries is quite a bit. That's all of Africa and then some. Mid-year, there were 70 countries. Year-end, there were 82 countries represented from participants within the Mojaloop training program. And the percentage since mid-year is a growth of 17%. All good news, all very exciting. So let's go down one level deeper. Let's talk about course completion rates, comparing the mid-year and end-year. How many people, it's fairly common knowledge that online courses and MOOCs, we generally have attrition as people progress, but we still, even in this department, have very exciting statistics to share. I'll go through each of these. I think it's important to highlight some of this content. In Moja 101, which is by far our most popular course, mid-year, there were 44 people who completed the course. By year end, that number was just shy of double, 80 people. So that is 82% growth mid-year. From mid-year in the half year, sorry. And the percentage of users who have taken that course year to date is 12%. In Moja 102, there are 10 people who, by mid-year, 10 people had taken the course. By year end, 18 people, that's a growth of 80%. And that's 3% of people who have taken the course, who have completed the course, sorry. In Moja 103, 3 people took the course by mid-year. At the end of the year, it had tripled to 9, 200% growth, and 1.3% of users have taken the course year to date. Moja 104, 1 person took the course, 1 person completed the course by year end. So we still need to get lots more people pushing through all the various courses. A 0% growth rate, only 0.1% of users have taken that course. Interestingly enough, it looks like a few people skipped some of the courses, some of the Moja 100 series courses, and they went straight into the DFSP 101 course, which makes some sense. By mid-year, 16 people had completed the training. That doubled at the end of the year, 100% growth rate for half year, and that's 5% of users on the Mojaloop training program who have taken that course. DFSP 209 has recently been launched. 1 person, well, silently it was available. 1 person has, at the end of the year, took the course. DFSP 209 is one of the courses we announced today. So no stats just there, but that's one of the things we're really, I'm very excited about, because if the DFSP 101 is any, the stats there are anything to go by, I do expect to see a number of you take the DFSP 209 courses, and we're definitely looking forward to your feedback. For Scheme 101, this was one of the courses that was launched half year, Scheme 101 and Hub 101. By mid-year, one person had taken the course. By year end, we had 11 people, 1,000% growth rate, and 1.6% of users taking the course. In Hub 101, one person by mid-year had taken the course. The Hub Scheme 101 and Hub 101 were launched just about the same time. 3 people have completed that course by year end. That is 200% growth, and 0.4% of users have taken that course year to date. Hub 209 and Testing Toolkit are all new. We did have a few guinea pigs take the course towards the end of last year, the Testing Toolkit course, and finish it. So that's why you can see the 4 people there. And this is 0.6% of users. So there's new courses. And this is very exciting. Jane, I see your hand.
I just wanted to highlight the comment that Steve made in the chat, Simeon. If you want to have a look at it, we are using the DFSP 209 for the DAI Myanmar program. You can read it, it's in there. It's great. It's a fabulous addition to use of the program.
Steve, I will give you an opportunity to unmute, and maybe you can highlight that and a little more. Steve, go ahead.
Sure. Thanks for everyone. And yeah, it was a great opportunity to show that when we start engaging with certain donors that may not be able to think about things at an infrastructure level, where they can think about is how do we upskill and upgrade specific types of financial institutions, microfinance, credit unions, and others, and having these courses available as a way to just rapidly roll out those kinds of programs for donors. So anyone interested in or who regularly talks to donors interested in financial inclusion, this is something that kind of, like I said, often falls more within the category of things they can fund instead of, like I said, technical infrastructure. Just reach out to me if anybody wants to roll out things like that in your country.
Excellent. Thank you so much for highlighting that, Steve. I also want to spend some time and just see the top users in various regions and countries. Sub-Saharan Africa tops with 262 users for the Mojaloop training program, followed by Southeastern Asia, 102, North America, 82. There are some people who didn't let us know what their countries are, 64 people. Northern Europe, 38, Southern Asia, 27, Latin America and Caribbean, 22, Western Asia, 19, Western Europe, 17, Northern Africa, 12, Australia and New Zealand, 9, Eastern Asia, 8, Eastern Europe, 7, Southern Europe, 3, Melanesia, 1, and Central Asia, 1. So we've got people quite literally all over the world taking the courses. You can see from the map, there's a lot of activity from the US, from Tanzania, and from Myanmar. Tanzania and Myanmar, I believe, is related also to the folks who are actively participating in deployments in those regions as well. By country, of course, again, Tanzania 85, Myanmar 82, the United States 67, South Africa 43, United Kingdom 32, Kenya 29, Uganda 29, Yemen 18, Nigeria 17, Canada 15, India 14 people, Singapore 12 people, Cote d'Ivoire 11 people, Rwanda 9 people, Ethiopia and Pakistan have 8 people each, and Australia, France, and Zimbabwe have 7 people each. This gives you a sense of how many people are actually taking or actively looking through the content for the Mojaloop training program. So if you haven't, chances are you may be the only one. So we do encourage you to go to learn.mojaloop.io, sign up and take the courses. Do remember to give us your feedback, because that's how we improve the content as we keep going along. What's next for the training program? This quarter, we're going to spend quite a bit of time aggressively marketing the 3 new courses that have been announced today. That is the Hub 209, DFSP 209, and the Testing Toolkit course. So you should expect to see in your social feeds and in the newsletters a lot of highlights calling out those 3 courses. And there'll be a number of more interactive ways to engage with the builders of those courses. And you can get to ask a few questions, learn how they were made and all that stuff. So I do recommend that you sign up to the Mojaloop newsletter or watch our socials. That's the best way to get in touch and see what's going on that area. We're going to spend some time cleaning under the hood. What does that look like? We want to migrate Mojaloop to a more stable server. We probably do some light rebranding of the Mojaloop training program website as well, both on the main foundation site and the actual course, the course software as well, just to make it easier to navigate and highlight some of those courses. We've had a few responses and feedback from people who've had challenges finding the course. And if you do, please reach out to me directly or my colleague Amanda or Jane and Paul Baker. Any of them would be able to help you navigate in case you get lost. The thing that we want to focus on in the very near future is develop 4 new courses. And we hope we can accomplish this year. One, we have discussed this for a while. We think it may be useful to develop an executive series course or series of courses that primarily target executives who don't necessarily want to get too lost into the weeds, but want to have enough content to understand meaningfully in order so that they're able to make decisions around Mojaloop. So we are looking for individuals who are willing to champion this cause or develop the executive series. If you're interested in that, if you spend a lot of your time talking to executives in various industries and organizations about Mojaloop, please reach out to us. We need your insights to help us develop an executive series course. We also spent some time developing Hub 204 and DFSP 204. And we also think we may be able to develop a course around PISP. Most of you in our community are aware that there has been some renewed interest around the 3PPI and PISP. I'm pretty sure Sam and others will highlight that in the session. I believe that's tomorrow. So do stick around for that. But we do hope that those of you who are interested in that topic, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to engage you in helping us build this course. So that's it. A quick update from everything that's happening all around the community. Again, once more, thank you so much for your hard work. There's a whole lot more that we would have put into this slide and updates, but I do encourage you to sit through all the sessions because various individuals and various people in our community have done quite a bit of work that Paula and I are not able to highlight in our presentation this morning, at this hour, so to speak. But it would be worth spending some time to understand in depth what everybody else has been up to. And that is the purpose of why we have these meetings. So we can all come together and share and learn from each other. And that's something I get very excited about. And I do encourage you to be excited about that.